After weeks of grinding conflict, the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan rebels have mooted the possibility to end the 21-month-old war in Ethiopia. This comes after the African Union negotiated talks between the two warring sides. The African Union, in a statement, said, and I quote, "Both the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan rebels held direct engagements. The statement is the first public confirmation of direct contact between Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front." The AU Council called on the warring sides to place supreme interests of Ethiopia and its people above everything else and embrace inclusive political dialogue as the only viable approach towards finding a consensual solution to the current situation. It further urged international partners to scale up their support for the AU-led mediation process. Fighting in the past few months has eased in northern Ethiopia since a humanitarian truce was declared at the end of March, which allowed the resumption of international aid convoys to Tigray's 6 million people. Since the war broke out, Ethiopia's northernmost region has suffered food shortages and access to basic services such as electricity, communication and banking. And for more updates on this, we are now being joined by our correspondent Coletta Wanjohi from Addis Ababa. Coletta, thanks for joining us. My first question, after months of conflict, the Ethiopian government and Tigrayan rebels have finally mooted the possibility to end the 21-month-old war in Ethiopia. How likely is it at this point?
Well, what we have is just a public declaration, the first one of its kind from the African Union. We are yet to get any official statement or official declaration from the government itself, and maybe from the TPLF. We haven't got that yet. So what we have is just what the African Union has said. Well, analysts say that the modalities of the meeting, if it happens, or the kind of negotiations or the kind of interactions the two parties had, are still scanty. So we would not understand what really, if it happened, what really was talked about or what agreements were made and all that. But what we know is that the government has already formed a negotiation team, which is a good sign that it is ready for any negotiated process. And the African Union is encouraging the TPLF to do the same and form a team. I mean, with a team, then it's easy for representatives to talk, and you will not have just individuals talking from here to there. So we are still waiting for an official confirmation, at least from the government. But as it stands, both sides have already showed some appetite for peaceful resolution to the process.
Right, absolutely. You say this is the first move, and it shows that there is in fact the possibility of some kind of peaceful resolution to this conflict. Should this conflict get resolved, should there be a peaceful resolution, what is the road ahead for rebuilding the region, especially where it is being witnessed that there are food shortages, communication blackouts, banking challenges? What are the challenges ahead for the people of Tigray?
Well, a very big challenge, not only for the people of Tigray, but also for the government itself, because it is the obligation of the government, as in any other state, to ensure that services reach its own people. At the moment, we have a bone of contention where people from the Tigray area are saying that they still need services to be put up. At least we had that from the special envoys of the US and the European Union who visited the Tigray region about a week or so ago. And they came back, and their statement kind of hinted to the fact that the people in Tigray were asking for the resumption of basic services like banking, communication, and other services. And on the other side, the government was not really happy with this kind of statement, because it said that it's already putting some effort. It has signed an agreement with the UN operation an arm, which is UNOPS, to ensure that it kind of leads some of the restoration of services in the Tigray region through money or a grant that has been given by the World Bank. It is a long process, but for, as analysts say, for any rebuilding or reconstruction to happen in the area of Tigray, then the government and the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which are now the main factions in the war, must sit and at least start a peace process that is a bit tangible. Only that way, then it will be easy for restoration of services the other side.
Absolutely, Coletta. Thank you so much for all those updates, and thanks for joining us on WION at this hour. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.